Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my February plan with me, as well as I'm going to flip through all of my spreads from January. So if you guys are interested in watching my January plan with me, I will make sure to leave a link to that in the description. So starting off, I'm going to grab my journal and I'll just show you all of my spreads that I created throughout the month of January. So my cover page is this watercolor of the Northern Lights with like a river and trees and stuff, and I actually ended up scanning this and printing it out on my computer, so this isn't the original, which is something new because normally I just put the original right into my bullet journal. Here is the calendar and my goals and highlights section and my habit tracker. So as you can see, I used a lot of teal colors and also this really pretty purple color that kind of matched all of my photos that I printed off of Pinterest for the Northern Lights. I think this page is one of my favorites. I like how the striped washi tape looks on there. And here's another random page. This one isn't my favorite, but I think it was just a really quick one that I needed to quickly make before the week started. Here's another one. I like this one a lot. I think the purple drop shadows on the days of the week looks really pretty. And here's the last one, which is this upcoming week actually. It goes into February a little bit, so I will be using that this week. And on to planning for February. Normally for February I do some type of like pink theme with like flowers or roses, like Valentine's Day type of situation, but I really wanted to change things up this month, so I found some photos on Pinterest that I really liked. So I decided to use those throughout the month, and I did a painting similar to the design in that. So there's lots of like geometric type shapes and lots of different color blocking type of designs. And I decided to use acrylic paint for this just because I thought it would be a lot better suited than using watercolor, mostly because I wasn't doing a lot of blending. So I just went ahead and drew this out on a piece of paper, and then I painted it all in with the various colors. And once all of the base colors were painted in, I added some details with various different colors of paint to add some more texture and designs to it. And once that was finished, I scanned that on my computer and added some text to it, and then printed it out and glued it into my bullet journal. And I'm really happy with how this cover page turned out. It's something completely different from what I normally do, and I'm really excited to continue to make stuff in this style of art. So now we're going to move on to the bulk of the planning and setting up. So I'm going to begin by making my February calendar. I started by just marking this out with pencil so I didn't mess something up, and then I drew over that with a fine liner to make my basic calendar setup. And I decided to do this design in the backgrounds. So I chose 4 Tombow markers that I thought kind of summarized my color scheme in the photos that I was using pretty nicely. And I just did this like stripey type of doodle thing where the stripes are kind of like waving through the background. After that, I used a smaller Tombow marker to write the days of the week in this like simple cursive-y type style writing, and then I wrote February with a Tombow brush marker at the top, and I also ended up outlining some of the stripes just with a fine liner. And then with my printed photos from Pinterest, I chose one that I thought suited the page nicely, and I just glued that in. On top of that, I have a event section, and then I just added some bullet points so I can kind of summarize the month. And because the top right hand corner of the page was looking kind of empty, I continued the same stripy pattern with my Tombow markers and just added that into the page. And for the days of the month, I used the same Tombow markers again and just alternated between the different colors with these little dots in the right hand corner of the boxes. And then after that, I just wrote the dates with a black marker on top. And moving on to the next page, I have my goals and highlights section on the left and my expense tracker on the right. I started by just mapping out some rounded rectangle boxes on each of the pages, and I decided to do a similar design around the outside, so I used those same colored markers and just pretty much drew different geometric shapes. I started with these black stripy lines and then added random blobs and triangles. Pretty much anything goes here, and I just the photos that I found kind of inspired this, and I just continued that until I had all of the different colors on the page. And to finish the page off, I just outlined the edge with a Tombow marker to kind of complete the look, and I think this is a really cool idea. I think I'm going to do this with other themes with different designs on the outside. It's a cool way to incorporate different colors of markers into your bullet journal. And then I added my headers, so I have goals and highlights, and I split the page up on the left. And then for my expense tracker, I just wrote the title on the top and then sectioned off my page into 4 different sections for my different categories of expenses, and that is how it turned out. So moving on to the next page, I have my habit tracker on the right. So I started with my Tombow marker and wrote that out, and I added a similar striped design with the 4 colors in this wavy little shape around habits. And then I numbered all of the days of February vertically on the page so that I can fill in the box every time I complete the habit for the day. And I added this pretty photo that I printed on photo paper from Pinterest along with some washi tape on there. I think that washi tape is from Michael's, and it's definitely one of my favorites. I added this blue line and all of my 4 different habits that I'm tracking. I kind of didn't leave enough space for it, but I mean, it works. It's not ideal, but it's okay. And then on the other side, I have my line a day page, so I just wrote that out in the same simple font, and I started using graph paper for this theme, and I think it really suits it. So I ripped a part of a page off and glued that on, and then I used this cut up photo and these little triangles and glued that in. I think it looks really cool and suits the theme really nicely. And similarly to the left page, I wrote all of the dates vertically on the page so that pretty much every day I go in with my marker and I do my mood tracker type thing for the day, and then also just write a quick line to summarize what the day was about. For my final page that I am setting up for February so far is my first weekly spread. So I chose some Pinterest photos that I liked, and I also glued in some graph paper like I did on the previous page. I think this is a really cool thing to incorporate because graph paper is really cheap and easy to come by, and I think it's a cool way to add different textures into your bullet journal if you guys are looking for something different. I also used that same washi tape and added my February title. And I kind of screwed up the dates for this, but I ended up fixing it with turning my 2 into a 3, so it's not great, but that's okay. And here I just have a to-do list on some graph paper that I made. I think this is a nice way to section it off and kind of make a little focus to-do list for the entire week as a whole before making the daily to-do lists. And I used those same 4 markers to write the days of the week across the spread. And then after that, I used a black marker to write these little dots on the side where I added the dates with a white gel pen. And that is how this spread turned out. I also used some of those triangles as well, but yeah, I'm really happy with the colorful theme. Normally, like a bunch of colors like this is pretty out of my comfort zone for making bullet journal spreads, but I'm excited to see what it holds for the month. So here is my quick little flip through of all of my spreads for February, and I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments on this month's spreads and setups, and also which spread from February was your favorite, as well as any other video suggestions or theme suggestions for future bullet journal setups and themes. So I think that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!